Hello, it's Becky Edwards of Purpose Driven Motherhood. I'm really excited to share with you my favorite takeaways from talk number 3 and announce talk number 4. Before I do that, I want to share a couple little things to make our page more user-friendly. One is I have decided to shift my Facebook Live videos to Sunday rather than Monday. It works better for me, and I took a little poll and it works better for others too. So every Sunday I will be doing my Facebook Live video, sharing my favorite takeaways from the last talk and then announcing the next talk. Also, you can find the talks in 3 different places. I will post them in this Facebook Live, so each time I do this, it'll be posted there, so I'll post it as soon as I'm done. I will also put it at the bottom of the pinned post, and I will also upload it to the files. And the files, if you're on your computer, they're on the left-hand side of your screen in a little list. Also in that list on the left is a search box. And you can search, I just re-tagged my post, you can search hashtag Becky Video, and that's where you'll find my takeaways from all the talks that so far. And then you'll find, if you want to go hashtag Becky Post, that's where you'll find my other posts. And then anybody is welcome to post on any talk, and then you can just hashtag it like, talk number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, whatever number you want. Then when you want to go see what other people are posting about that talk, you can go to your search box and go number sign or hashtag or pound sign 1 or pound sign 2. And then everybody who has tagged that, it will come up for you and you can see what everybody's saying about it. I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. I want to share with you my favorite takeaways from Sister Bonnie Parkin's talk, Personal Ministry, Sacred and Precious. And I just want you to know that even though I've studied this one several times in the past, I studied it again today, and I was posting different memes and things on the page, and I was crying. I had to go redo my makeup because I just kept crying. It was, oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful talk, and I know many of you felt the same way. So my first takeaway is the main meaty message from this talk is that each person has a personal ministry. Just like the Savior, how he personally ministered as he went. And it can include things like our callings or our careers or our assignments or, positions, but it's really bigger than that. It's really more long lasting than that. I would say another word for personal ministry is personal mission or our life purpose. That kind of feeling. And Sister Parkin gave some really cool little nuggets of how we can get hints of what that's about. So she talked about our callings will help us discover that. The people that we love who cross our paths when we obey, when we consider our patriarchal blessing, when we follow the Spirit. And President Nelson in talk number 1, he gave a challenge, an invitation. If you haven't taken it yet, please do it this week. He gave an invitation to ask the Lord, how do you feel about me and my mission? And then to write down the little thoughts that come to you about that and to study that and obey it. And so that's another thing you can add to this idea of personal ministry or personal mission is you can look for the clues and you can ask directly. And I think my very favorite one, this is my favorite part of this entire talk, and it also is a clue of finding our personal ministry, is pray daily to be an answer to someone else's prayer. Have you ever done that? Oh my goodness. If you have never done that before, I invite you to start doing that now. Start today. Don't put it off. Pray daily to be an answer to other people's prayers. Oh my goodness. I love it. I couldn't begin to count the little miracles that I have had the blessing of being a part of because I've added this to my prayers over the last bunch of years. How old is this talk? 2007. So 10 years. I think I read it right away when she gave it. So a long time that I've been praying for that. And it is so much fun. In fact, I want to share what President Monson says about praying to be the answer to someone else's prayers. He says, the sweetest experience I know in life is to feel a prompting and act upon it and later find out that it was the fulfillment of someone's prayer or someone's need. And I always want the Lord to know that if he needs an errand run, Tom Monson will run that errand for him. That is that is like the epitome of who President Monson is. He is always thinking personal ministries, always in his mind, who needs me? Who needs a blessing? Who can I cheer? Who can I lift? What can I say? What can I do? That's who he is. That's one of the reasons I love him so much, is he's always on the Lord's errand. I just love it. Okay, my second really awesome favorite takeaway is from paragraph 21, where Bonnie Parkin says, most ministering opportunities are spontaneous, not planned in advance. Much of the Savior's ministering seemed almost incidental, happening while he was on his way somewhere else, while he was doing something else. And then she talks about a chapter in Matthew chapter 9, where he was like on his way to this, and this happened, and this person needed him, and he just kept, kind of zigzagging back and forth and serving all along the way on his way to somewhere else. And so the way she said this is ministering as he went, ministering as he went. And it gave me, it reminded me of a couple little quotes, or I guess phrases, mantras that I really like. One is, promptings matter more than plans. I mean, it's great to set a goal and make a plan for your day. It's awesome, so good. But that's kind of like plan A. It's always better if the Lord prompts you to set aside plan A or detour for a little bit from plan A and do plan B. Plan B of promptings is always a higher road than your own plan A. Always, always, always. So promptings are better than plans. And people matter more than things. People matter more than problems. People matter more than your work. Like people are really all we take with us to the other side. We take our relationships, we take what we've made of ourselves, we take our testimonies, we take our friends, our families. It's all about people. It's all about people. And personal ministry is all about people. It's all about loving people. I just love it. Okay, the third takeaway is that sometimes receiving is really hard. I think for many of us, it's really fun and easier to give service than it is to receive service. And I know that's been my experience. I'm going to share an experience I had about 14 years ago. I had 5 little kids with nursing twins, were babies, and my husband got called to go to the war in Iraq. And I was beyond overwhelmed and sleep deprived. It was so intense. I don't know exactly what a nervous breakdown feels like, but I think I came about a hair away from it twice, where it was really scary to me. It was very overwhelming. And I had a relative very lovingly say to me, Becky, if you don't reach out to your bishop or your Relief Society president by next week, I am calling one of them for you. I'm like, okay. Because it was hard for me to reach out for extra support and help. Mm-hmm. But I really needed extra support and help. And then, once I was able to reach out for that ward they just surrounded me with love and support. I had one lady in the ward who already did babysitting kind of as a day job in her home. And she said, Becky, why don't you let me babysit every so often and you can go run a few errands? And oh my gosh, that was amazing to me. And once a week, somebody in my ward would bring me dinner. Oh, once a week I could count on that. That was such a blessing. And I'm gonna cry. The experience that was the most profound was a little grandma in our ward, Grandma Cleo. She's actually passed away now, but we absolutely love and adore Grandma Cleo. She would come over, I believe, every single week to let me run some errands, have a chiropractic appointment, that kind of thing. Then she came over every Sunday morning, and while I got the older kids ready for church and myself, she would dress my little twins. And then she would sit by me every single church, all the way through church. And her husband was in the bishopric, so she would have sat alone and had peace. And instead she sacrificed and sat with this crazy busy family who we needed her so much. And it was not convenient. It wasn't easy. It wasn't, but I'm telling you, me receiving that service from her was, oh my goodness, it saved me. It saved me. And not only her, but many others did the same. And, when you receive service like that, it shifts you, it changes you inside. And then you see others suffering with new eyes, right? Can you relate to that? So now when I see someone else going through an intense time, I think, oh my gosh, what can I do to serve? So for example, I have a really dear friend who has, I think 8 children now, and her last one is a Down syndrome baby. And I love and adore this friend. And so I'm like, can I bring you dinner? What can I do? And then today at a state conference, I saw another family I'd never met before, but they had, I think, 9 children, and their baby was a Down syndrome baby. And I went up to her and I said, your family just loves that baby so much. It was touched my heart and made me tear up, and watching their family just fight over that beautiful little baby boy with cute little oxygen tubes in his nose. And I said, can I bring you dinner too? I'm making a big batch of soup for my friend. Can I just bring some to you too? And I don't know that I would have thought that way had I not been a recipient years ago and known how much that helped me. So being a receiver is really important as well as giving. That's been a really big life lesson. I will share one more little story. In my first ward, just out of college, we were in a married student ward at BYU that I just thought, I will never love a ward as much as this one. Oh my gosh. We had people from all over the world, Japan and Korea and where else? Germany and Austria and Chile. I mean, it was such a cool ward. It was so much fun. And then I moved to a ward where I felt isolated. I had 3 little tiny children. I just had my 3rd child, and my husband was in his first job out of law school, and I felt really lonely. I didn't have that wonderful camaraderie of all these moms who came out to the big grassy field, on sunny days and played with the kids together, and I just didn't have that. I felt alone. I remember opening my blinds and thinking, is there anybody even out there? Am I alone on this street? And then this wonderful, delightful, cheerful woman named Michel Talbot, we called her Mish. She befriended me in such a wonderful, warm way. She invited me to sit by her week after week after week, or she would come and find me and sit by me because I was the new person in the ward. And she would just cheerfully chat with me and help me feel welcomed and at home. Then she would look around and say, hey, so-and-so, have you met our new friend Becky? Hey, so-and-so, this is Becky. Let me introduce you. Let me tell you what's going on with the, this play group or this soccer club that we're doing. And she made such a profound difference for me, from feeling so alone and so isolated to feeling like I have friends. I'm okay. I'm going to be okay here. And I like it here. One person did that for me. And that receiving that kind of service has changed me inside to where when we have a new person that moves into my ward, I want to be like Mish. I want to be the person who says, oh my gosh, hi, I'm Becky. What's your name? Where are you from? Let me introduce you to people. Let me come and sit by us. And I never want someone else to feel like, is anybody out there? I want to have the people who move into my neighborhood feel like they have friends. And so that's the beauty of receiving service and watching others give it, is then you learn how you can give service and turn around and give it to someone else in ways that really are meaningful. Let's see. My 4th takeaway is from paragraph 54 and 55. And this is the little story about a BYU couple who were just tremendous in how they served another little family at their BYU married ward. So a mother in their ward got advanced stage leukemia. And this little couple just served this little family so much. They babysat their little girl, and they would bring, visit in the hospital to the mother and bring little gifts and read to her and then the mother eventually did pass away. And this little couple who had plans to do graduate schools in another state, they postponed their plans in order to serve this dad and this little daughter who were grieving from losing their wife and mom. And they babysat so that he could go to finish law school, and they planned a surprise birthday party for this dad, and they kept the meals coming with the help of the ward. And oh my gosh, can you imagine? And this was not easy or convenient. I'm positive it was not easy or convenient for this little couple. And I'm sure it wasn't easy for this dad to receive that much service. But look at it. Oh, isn't that just a beautiful story? So today when I was reading that story and crying, I had the Spirit teach me something really cool, and I needed it right now. It was really a profound lesson for me, and so maybe it will help some of you. we are in a little bit of a transition in our family. We have been kind of, we have 2 kids out of the home, and this next, we have our middle child is just about to leave the home. She's graduating and just about to leave. And then we had 2 left who will start high school, start 10th grade this year. So it, it almost feels like we're getting closer to the empty nest phase. And I've created a business that I've been prompted to create this past year, and I'm busy. I have a lot going on. And then about a month ago or so, our oldest daughter received some promptings that it's time to get a divorce. And she moved in with her 3 beautiful, darling little girls. And it has put us back into the phase of crazy, busy, messy, delightful, overwhelming young motherhood again. Like we're right in the middle of it again. And it's been an adjustment. And I'm thrilled, sincerely thrilled and happy that we can help them. And I love them and I adore them. And it's a sacrifice at the same time. And we had a moment last night where my college-age boy brought a girl home from school and surprised us. We did not know he was coming. And I was taking a nap, and the house was it was a mess. And I wish he would have given us notice. Boys don't always think of that kind of thing. And they just came, and my husband woke me up and said, he's here with a girl. Do you want to come and meet? Oh, okay. And, and so I just felt embarrassed. I felt embarrassed that the house was a mess. I felt embarrassed that we hadn't planned ahead. We could have made dinner. We could have gotten a bed ready. Like none of that happened. And of course the house is more mess because we have 3 tiny little girls with stuff everywhere, right? We're just back in that phase of life. And it was embarrassing. And it was it felt like, oh, I don't like this. And I really have a hard time with a lot of clutter anyway. It's part of my personality. I do better when I have order. And it's just a sacrifice that we're making right now. And so when I read that part this morning or this afternoon in this talk where the Spirit was teaching me through this little story, it was not convenient. It was not easy. It was not in their schedule. It was not glamorous. It was probably a lot of monotony that this young couple take care day after day after day of this little mommy who was dying, and then her husband and her daughter. But it was their personal ministry. And the Spirit taught me today, Becky, remember, this is part of your personal ministry. Please see that it is beautiful and it's important, and your sacrifice is noticed by the Lord. And that just really meant a lot to me. So those who are in the throes of young motherhood, young parenthood, or any other phase where you might feel like, wow, I hear all the time from the pulpit, you should serve, you should do family history, you should go to the temple all the time. And if you think, man, my life is just full with what's in my home and family right now, think about it. What is more important than that? What could possibly be a more important part of your personal ministry than your own family? President Harold B. Lee said, no. Okay, let me see if I don't want to butcher this quote. I'm going to paraphrase it. The most important work we will ever do are within the walls of our own home. And President McKay said something to the effect of, no other success can compensate for failure in the home. And when the Savior in, I want to say Matthew 26 maybe, when the Savior said, come into, let's see, how did he say it? That, I'll welcome you into my kingdom because when I was sick, you fed, or when I was hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me drink. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was in prison, you visited me. And, lonely, you took me in, all that. And that the answer would be like, I don't remember doing that. And he would say, well, you did it to my children. You did it to the least of these, my brother. And so that means you served me. And what stage of life is not more filled with that than when we are busy serving our own families that have intense need phases, like young motherhood, or like an aging parent who needs constant care. Any of those phases when we are in the middle of taking care of family members who are struggling in any way or just in a phase of intense need, we are living an intense, deep, beautiful, eternal personal ministry. I invite me and you to see the glory of that, to see the eternity of that, to see how beautiful that is, and that the Savior is in it, and and that he's proud of us and he sees our sacrifices. And a sacrifice, really, my definition is giving up something good for something even better. So this is a sacrifice for something even better. Yeah, it's hard for me to make time for my business. Yeah, it's a sacrifice that I don't feel like that much order in my home right now. But I have the opportunity to personally minister to my daughter and my granddaughters. This won't last forever. I'll miss them when they leave, when they're ready to go on to their next phase of life. But wow, I have the opportunity to be a tool in the Lord's hands right now for them. That is so sacred. That is so sacred. So my invitation to you, here's my invitation. Take Sister Bonnie Parkin's challenge to start now and pray to be an answer to other people's prayers. Do it. If you've never prayed for that before, I'm just telling you right now, you are in for some amazing miracles. Little, big, medium, amazing miracles. Like seriously. And one thing to be aware of is they won't always be convenient. They're hardly ever going to be in your plan. Sometimes they will, but a lot of times they will not be where you plan to go that day or what you plan to do. They will be inspired in the moment. I'll share an example. Last weekend, or I think it was last weekend, about a week ago, I was volunteering at an event called Art of Mentoring. I've been to the event as a student before, and this time my two daughters got to go. And I stayed home 2 of the days to attend these 3 little grandbabies. And one day my husband came home from work so that I could attend as a volunteer. So I was volunteering at the event as part of the staff, and I had really hoped that I could be a microphone runner so that I could sit right next to my daughters in the audience. I could learn from this awesome presenter and trainer, and then I could be right next to my daughters and just, interact with them. And I was really hoping for that. So then I get in my car, I left a little bit late, and then I had this crazy notion, or this crazy weird thing happen. I took a wrong turn towards the Salt Lake Airport. I was born and raised in northern Utah. I know how to get to the Salt Palace in Salt Lake City. I've been there many times. And I still took a wrong turn to go to the airport instead of Beck Street. They're just right next to each other, these turns off the freeway. And yet I had this feeling, even though this was going to make me late, and it was a pretty good sized detour, and I probably wouldn't get the job that I wanted as a volunteer, I had prayed that morning, just like I often do, please help me be an answer to someone else's prayer today, or many people's prayer. That would be great to even be more. And I ended up working the kind of cash register area of this event. And because of where I worked, I ended up having conversations with a handful of people I never would have otherwise. And I loved that opportunity. And some of them had told me, Becky, you've made such a difference for me. Or, oh my word, when you did this last time we interacted, it was so great. It helped me in this way or that way. And it helped me believe in myself, or, those kinds of things. And I was like, Heavenly Father, thank you so much for that. I took a wrong turn and I was late. I'm so grateful. So in the moment it was stressful because I didn't want to be late, but I had this deep feeling, there's a purpose here. So when you start praying to be an answer to someone else's prayer, just know your life will not always go as planned, but it is so worth it. It is so worth it. So celebrate those opportunities and those moments that you get to be a conduit of Heavenly Father's messages to someone else. You get to show that you believe in someone when they don't. You get to be a tool in God's hands. You get to be a lighthouse to them for Christ. You get to shine Christ's light and love and truth and messages to his children. It's a beautiful experience. And just as Bonnie Parkin and President Monson have said, it is very, very sweet. Very sweet. So that's my invitation to you, is take that challenge. It's not like it takes 10 hours a day. It's just adding a little thing to your morning prayer and your night prayer. Help me be an answer to someone else's prayer today or tomorrow. Oh my gosh. And if you want to post some of your experiences on this page, that would be really, really fun to hear about. Okay, here's talk number 4. I'm super excited to share with you. So I want you to know that Elder Richard G. Scott is one of my favorite mentors. I've never met the man in person, although I was able to attend his funeral, which was an amazing experience. But I want you to check this out. I have a collection of maybe, a dozen. Oops, I'm not showing you very well. A dozen of Richard G. Scott's talks. He has mentored me so much, even on the other side of the veil. He continues to mentor me through his beautiful messages. And so we get to read one of his talks. It is called Acquiring Spiritual Knowledge. Actually, I'll show you the version I made for you with the numbered paragraphs. Acquiring Spiritual Knowledge by Richard G. Scott from 1993. And I want to just share my one favorite little nugget from it. Just one little nugget. He says, powerful spiritual direction in your life can be overcome or forced into the background unless you provide a way to retain it. Knowledge carefully recorded is knowledge available in time of need. Spiritually sensitive information should be kept in a sacred place that communicates to the Lord how you treasure it. That practice enhances the likelihood of you receiving further light. Yes! So what that means is when you write down inspiration, Heavenly Father wants to give you more of it because we show him, I really value what you tell me. This is really special to me to the point where I want to write it down. I know, don't you love that? And I encourage you to just yummy up this talk. It is so full of nuggets. He teaches about principles. He teaches about journaling and so many good things. So there we go. Again, a couple little reminders that I will be doing these videos on Sundays instead of Mondays from now on. You'll find the talk in each talk for each week in 3 places. I'll upload it to the files and it will be in this video each week. And also look at the bottom of the pinned post. I'll post it there as well. And you can go to the search box and you can say Becky, #Becky video to find any of these the videos I do. You can also search in the search box for #4 or number 4 or number 2, and that will bring up the comments of the people who posted on that particular talk. So when you share your takeaways, do your best to remember to just say talk number 2, talk number 4, and then other people can search it. And I think that's it. So have a fantastic week. Enjoy having a personal ministry and being on a mission to serve as you go, just as the Savior did, just as Sister Parkin has encouraged us to. And I promise you, it will bring you joy to be a tool in God's hands. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next Sunday.